Hello, welcome back to the Inspired Lady podcast. It's Belle, and wow, I'm just so excited about today and the spring, and I feel like I'm officially out of like the rut or like the slump that I was in for a little bit, and it is so refreshing. It is so refreshing to be on the other side of that. I'm feeling really good. Actually, I take that back. I have a very sore throat right now. But besides that, like mentally, I'm feeling great right now. And I wanted to talk about what I do while I'm in my slump to kind of bring myself out. And I want to say that it's okay if you're in a slump. Like, it's okay if you're not feeling 100% motivated at every single moment of the day and you're not feeling inspired by everything going on. I literally was just in that season. And I feel like the winter is like that for a lot of us, but spring is here. We're able to kind of take a couple steps outside of that icky feeling of just like bleh. Everything's feeling bleh. The routines are feeling ugh. I don't know. I was so in that, and I feel like I'm out of it. So we're going to talk about how to get out of it. But if you are in it right now, just know you're in good company, because I know a lot of people who are feeling very drained and very exhausted and just seeking maybe like the next step for their routine to make it not feel so tiring. So yeah, let's jump into this episode. Okay, so right now, like I said, I have a really sore throat, so I'm actually drinking an at-home like medicine ball kind of thing. So I first tried a medicine ball when I was in college from Starbucks. It's really, really good. I believe a real one has Earl Grey tea, lemonade, honey, and peach in it, I think. I think that's the recipe. So I'm using peach tea, organic honey, a lot of lemon. That's the key. A lot of lemon, and then scalding hot water. And then I just mix it up, and that's what I'm drinking right now. And it feels like heaven on my throat. It's so good. I love medicine balls so much. And it's amazing. So that's what I'm drinking today. And speaking of lemons, guys, the new Lemonade app, I am obsessed. Okay. I'm obsessed with it. When I first heard a new app was coming, which I actually found out about Lemonade because the creators, this is like a little subtle flex for you guys. The creators of Lemonade reached out to me back in January maybe and asked if I would start posting on the app early, so that way when it got launched in to the rest of the US, there would be content already on there. So I was like, ooh, okay, sure, I'll do it. But I was very overwhelmed by the idea of having another social media app to keep up with, because there's a lot. I focus mainly on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Instagram being the largest for me simply because I have a following, but also the one I like the least. Okay, straight up with you. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. And if I didn't have contracts going, I was telling a friend the other day, I think I would actually delete Instagram, because that's how over it I am. I'm trying the new Meta verified thing. I've had it for 2 weeks, okay? So I'm verified on Instagram because I'm trying it. It does nothing. I'm paying, it's $15 a month, okay? And I was like, I'm going to try this. If it helps, if one of the things that it said that they would do is push your content out more. And I was like, social media is enough of a platform that I make money on, that a $15 investment a month could be beneficial for me, okay? So, I talked about it with Matt, and Matt was like, yeah, let's try it. Let's see what it does. It is the biggest waste of $15. And I'm going to be so straight up with you. Since I've been verified, I have lost 100 followers. And it's just been so stupid. And I was like, what am I paying $15 a month for? Yet every other platform is paying me to be on there. Yet I'm paying Instagram to show up? So I'm going to cancel it, which I feel like good riddance, okay? One of my life dreams was to get verified at some point in my life. And I feel like, you know what, girl? You did it. You did the thing, not in the way you thought, but you did the thing, and it's time to get rid of it now. And if you're thinking about it, I mean, hey, I'm all for try it, see how it works for you, give it a good trial. I'm going to let it run through the end of the month, just to see if something changes, but I'm going to be so straight up with you. They're like, oh, it's for protection. So that way, there's no fraud and people aren't faking being you. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't struggle with that on any other app. No one pretends to be me on TikTok. No one has pretended to be me on Lemonade. Like YouTube, I've never once had an impersonator or someone, and like, so I have to pay $15 to be protected to use your app. Oh, guys, I'm so irritated about it. But like I said, I tried it to see if it would work out. I don't suggest it. I really do think it is super stupid. So moving on from that, then Lemonade is so fun. It's like a mix of Pinterest and like how Instagram used to be. Like you can post videos on there, but it's mostly like high quality photo content, and everything is like really pretty, and it's so easy to make pretty on there because there's not like a bunch of presets that you have to like go through and like bad editing or anything like that. Like there's a little enhance your photo thing which makes your photos just like a little brighter, or there's a bunch of templates that you can put on that's for text, like copy templates. Okay, so you can like go type on cute little things, and like you can say, like, let's say it's a picture of my outfit, I can add a little label that says like, oh, my top is from Aerie, my shorts are from Polly Park, my shoes are from Amazon, and then I post it. And I have not seen a single dude on this app yet. It is for the girlies. Okay, I really haven't seen a single guy on this, and I'm loving it. Matt said he was going to join, and I was like, I actually like, no, it's for the girls. And like maybe someday you can be on there, but right now it's a girly app. It's for the girls. And it's just so freaking fun. And I'm loving it. And I'm having so much more fun posting on it. And honestly, what I've been doing is taking anything that not everything, but some of the things that I've been posting on Lemonade and posting it to Instagram, because I am so sick of the cohesive feed of the everything. It's just feeling forced and heavy and exhausting. And I'm over it. I am so here for a good time. I am just going to post what makes me happy instead of looking for the neutral walls or whatever. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm still a neutral girly. And the reason why, like, I will always probably lean towards, at least in the foreseeable future, neutral home decor, honestly, even neutral clothing, because, and I think I've said this before, there's a lot of chaos and busyness in my life. Like, it's just always moving forward. It's always going at a quick rate. And there's a lot going on. So when it comes to what I'm going to surround myself with, I'm naturally drawn to things that are calming, things that are a lot more subtle and not so chaotic and busy, because that's what my brain is. My brain is chaotic and busy. So I find myself like literally just seeking out the neutrals. So that will always stay. But I literally was so stressed when we were in Israel, like trying to find neutral pictures to post. And then we're going to Alaska in May. And then like I'm actually going to Europe in June. We're busy travel girly. Okay. Busy travel girly over here. And I'm like, oh, I gotta find neutral pictures. Like there are some really beautiful pictures that I've taken that I haven't allowed myself to post because I'm so worried about staying like in a niche. And I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over it. Like if it looks cute, great. If it doesn't, but it makes me happy, still gonna post it. So we have a whole new mindset with social media. I think Lemonade is really helping with that because it's so pretty, but in a totally different way, like way less pressure. I'm obsessed. I've also been posting more about like morning routines and like my daily routine. And I love it. It's making me happy again. It's making me enjoy social media. And I feel like this is something that got me out of a rut. Okay. This actually has to do with the topic we're talking about today. For social media, I was feeling so stuck. And I know not everyone has it as a part-time job. But even if you don't have it as a part-time job, I think social media is one of those places that can just feel so stagnant almost. Because as much as you're constantly seeing something new, it gets old. It gets old fast. And it can just feel like it's replaying the same thing over and over and over again. And I've been on an audiobook kick lately, a lot of self-help books, so your girl's got some tips now. But I was reading this one book about community, and it said, really when you look at social media, there's two ways that you can be on social media. You can be a consumer, which means you're looking at everything and you're taking it in. And that's actually really bad because you're not finding community on there. You're not actually gaining anything. You're just consuming other people's lives and ideas at such a high rate that it's draining. Or you can use social media and be an engager. And that means that you're actually like talking to people. You're actually using it with a purpose to serve others or to, like communicate and connect with other human beings. And that is a healthier approach. So when I read this or listened to it, because it was an audiobook, I kind of had to take a step back and I was like, shoot, that makes a lot of sense. I've been consuming lately and I haven't been engaging. So, of course, I'm feeling drained and exhausted by it. So, I switched up my tactic. I have 1 hour blocks on all of my social media apps. And, that's great and all. But I was going on there and I was just consuming. I'd post my stuff and then I'd consume. And so I have like had to remind myself that I'm not a consumer, I'm an engager. So for a while, I wasn't responding to comments on my posts because it was really a lot. Also, a lot of comments have to do with how you look. So people be like, "Oh my gosh, you look so good here. Oh my gosh, you look so cute." And it's kind of like what am I supposed to say to people like talking about my looks the whole time? And it's kind and I appreciate all those comments, but I realized I wasn't giving anything more to talk about. These people were supporting me in the best way they knew how, but I wasn't engaging with people. I wasn't actually serving people on social media and giving them content that had any meaning behind it. And I would look back at captions that I had back in like 2020, and they were like these long, in-depth conversations, and it would engage with people instead of just being like, "Oh, you look hot." So I've started creating, more meaningful captions and putting out content that actually serves a purpose, that actually like gives you guys information. Like I just did a Bible study post and it was so fun because so many people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm going to like maybe try some of these devotionals," or "This is just so sweet. Thank you so much." Or like a list of podcasts I'm loving. So having to adjust where I was at on social media and trying to get out of a slump here, and remembering that I want to engage on social media. I want to be a part of a community, not just consuming other people's lives. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. And I think that's something I like about Lemonade. It's so supportive. I've never once gotten a hate comment yet. I have a lot of comments on there and there's not a single one. And YouTube, let me tell you, I get some mean comments on YouTube. Some mean comments, like things that I didn't even know people could say to another person. Ooh, it's heavy on YouTube. So anyways, it's been refreshing to just take a step back and readjust. So I suggest one of my first tips for you guys is adjust what you're doing on social media. Are you consuming or engaging? And when you engage, I'm also going to say it's not as easy to just sit on social media for hours because you're typing and you're connecting and you're doing all these things. And then you kind of look at it and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done with it for the day. And it stops the mindless scrolling. So one of the things that I do is like, I'll be like, okay, I need to comment on 10 posts. So when I'm going through my feed, I'm not looking at it being like, okay. Like instead I'm like, oh wow, okay, I can engage with this person. Okay, yeah, I can engage with this person. I don't know. It's helped me a lot. I think it's also helped with social media of just like reminding me what it is. And I think that if you're in a slump, especially on social media, really evaluate where you're at on the consumer versus engager ratio, because that's helpful. Next thing I'm going to say might be damaging to your girl, but you know what? I don't care. If you're in a slump, I find that when I'm consuming so much self-help content, it's not always beneficial. It doesn't always help me when I'm feeling like I don't have things together to listen to other people talk about what they do and how they do have their lives together and what aspects work for them and what doesn't. Because I'm just tired. That's what I am when I'm in a slump. I'm just tired. So take a little bit of time where you would usually listen to a podcast and just turn on some music and just either sing along, maybe move your shoulders a little, maybe dance a little, whatever that looks like for you. But instead of being so focused on, I've got to get out of this, I've got to fix it, I've got to, get out of my slump so I can keep on crushing it, maybe take a minute and be like, yeah, you know what, I just need a fat minute of, whoa, I'm tired. That was a lot. This season of life has been a lot. And I'm going to get back to where I want to be and even better. But for this moment, I need to just be in the music. Just listen to music and don't try to necessarily fix it. Because if you're always in the state of trying to plan and fix, you're going to find that you're not ready for the curveballs that come your way because you can't plan for every single moment. You can't crush every single goal. And when you're only listening to people talk about how they crush their goals and how they achieve things and things like that, I think that there is purpose behind that. There's inspiration found in that. But sometimes, if you're in a slump, just take your hands off the freaking wheel and just be for a minute. Just be, okay? And I think music kind of grounds it. Next, books. Kind of similarly, I love a good fantasy series. Oh my gosh, I'm in a book club. It's so fun. There's another girl who's in the book club with me, and we're both like the fantasy girlies. And I love it. I love a good little fantasy book. I love that I get to go into like a new world, a new series. So if I'm in a slump, I will start a long series, a long one, because I think it's almost like getting to go visit friends and reconnect with them, okay? I was listening to a psychiatrist talk one time, and she actually said, this is like kind of crazy. She said, a sign of like depression or anxiety, and not saying that you have it if you do this, because it's okay, but is to rewatch or reread, like consume the same content over and over, because everything around you feels unstable. So it's almost like you're visiting old friends. You're checking in on people who you like spent a portion of your life with, you know what I mean? And different seasons, different stages. And it's just, that hit me. That's one of those things that someone said to me, and it just stuck with me on such a deep level. And I think about that a lot because I love to kind of rewatch similar shows like Friends or New Girl or something like that, which, by the way, they're taking New Girl off Netflix, and I'm very upset, but whatever. Anyways, I really related to that because whenever I'm in a slump and I just feel like bleh about everything, I find it very encouraging to be able to check in with old friends like that. And it's consistent if you're rereading, but even if you're engaging in a really long series for a book, and you know what world you're going into, you know the characters, you know all of this, like, I don't know, it's refreshing to me. I think it's a helpful little break. And so whenever I'm in a slump, I start a really long series. So I just finished A Court of Thorns and Roses, I think it is. It's like ACOTAR. It's like what people call it. It was really good. It was really good. My, friend in the book club suggested it to me, and it was amazing. I loved reading it. I like went through it, and it was like this little place that I just got to kind of be like, oh, okay, we're going to enter a new world here. And it's just fun. And like, if you're going to go back and read, like, I don't know, Twilight, Harry Potter, something where it's a series, something where you can, get into it and just have that step back. I don't know. I think it's really cool. As far as food fixations are so real for me. I get so stuck on certain foods. But in slumps, it's really hard for me to want to nourish my body. I find that my food, the only food I want to eat when I'm in a bleh slump is pasta. Like, that's pretty much it. So I think that taking some time on Pinterest and looking up those super, super easy recipes and trying something new honestly helps with that so much, because even if it's a different type of pasta, whatever that is, I add it to the grocery list for the week. I don't make it like super heavy where it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store that day and try to find it, or, whatever. I just add the ingredients to the grocery list, and then when I get to the grocery store, I get everything on the list, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I could try this right now, because I really don't nourish my body as much. And so I will say that's where vitamins are really, really important. I do drink greens in the morning, and that's from Memory. I love it, MEMORE. And you can use code Belle for 15% off. And then I also included in the links this week in the description of the video, or also if you're on Instagram, you can just click the links, the Care of Vitamin quiz, because the vitamins that I take on Care of are amazing. You take this quiz and you talk about like your goals and like what you want to work on, whether it's like skin health, brain fog, whatever. And then they suggest like different vitamins and minerals and things like that that help with the goals that you're trying to attain. And then they send you like pre-packaged daily vitamins, and it's amazing. So that's all in the links. in the show notes if you guys are interested in checking any of that out, because really when I am in a slump, it's very hard for me to want to nourish my body. And that's probably one of, like, all times are important to nourish your body, but when you're feeling down and low and just like blah about everything, you've got to make sure you're eating and you're nourishing yourself with the food that it needs, the fuel that your body needs to continue on, okay? So that's my little tangent on that. Anyways, another thing that I think helps get out of slumps is to reorganize and redecorate your space, okay? I stand by this forever. I was that girl where I was like 10 years old and my parents would hear like a crash at 3 a.m. and they'd be like, what's going on? And I had redecorated my entire bedroom. Like the dresser was like on the opposite wall and I was dragging my mattress across the floor because I've decided I needed to change up. And I think to some extent that's still me. Like a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was maybe months now, I was like, Matt, listen, I want to change up our apartment. I want to put our bed in the guest room and I want to change the master bedroom into a huge office space and like all this stuff. Like sometimes you just need a good change up. You just need a little redecoration, a reorganization. And if you're in a slump, you're probably not taking time to put things away where they go. Like when you do your skincare or your like makeup in the morning, you're probably just like not really doing anything with it afterwards. Like you either leave it on the counter, you just toss it in the drawer, whatever. But taking time to organize it, I find is really helpful for getting out of a slump. Organizing the pantry, the fridge, under cabinets in the bathroom, and your clothes, so helpful. So helpful to get out of a slump. It just kind of resets your space a little bit. So I feel like it can kind of reset the brain a little bit. So that's big. This next one is so practical. You're going to love me for it. Okay, so you're going to lay on your back on the floor, or you could go on your bed, and then you're going to put your legs up on the wall, okay? So, like, lay down, and you're going to be in a little L shape, and your legs are straight up and down on the wall or wherever you're leaned up against, okay? I love to do this for midday slumps, okay? So, like, is this going to cure it if you've been in a slump all season, all winter long, and, like, you're just drained of life? Probably not. But if you're in a midday slump, this like has brain, what does it do? It like makes the blood flow. I literally just listened to a whole book and this was one of the things that I talked about. Anyways, it has the blood like flow because there's like old blood either in your brain or in your legs. And when you do this, it like flows and adds new blood and it like recharges. And so everything's flowing again and it just feels really good. I lay there for like 5 minutes. I don't think you need to lay there that long. I bet you could lay there longer. I don't really think it matters. And it just feels so dang good. And it's just like a little reset. So if you're in a slump, start there. Like literally just put your legs up on the wall, lay down, and just breathe. And I bet you're going to feel a lot better. And then maybe you can go organize something while listening to some music and figuring out what kind of recipes you're going to try. Like this is a whole thing, okay? So I also think when you're doing this, you should open your windows and try to let some air in, even if it's chilly out. Okay. Oh my gosh, guys, I told you I've been on a kick. I just listened to the Him and Her podcast and it was all about mold and the effects of mold on you. Okay. And basically he was talking about how like this one couple had mold growing in their home and they didn't know it. And they almost got divorced because it was making them so irritable and so anxious and so like, chaos. And then they moved to a place that didn't have this like particular mold, which there's like thousands of types of mold. And they were like totally fine. Like they were like their normal selves again. And this mold was impacting like the brain chemistry. And it was like, it was wild. It was wild. You should listen to this episode. So anyways, you know, and obviously he's like selling a product and stuff. And he's like, but 2 free things you can do to like not have this mold grow, or other types of mold that can really like harm you is to not wear your shoes inside the house and then to open your windows because the airflow of like outside air, because all of our homes, all of our buildings are made so airtight right now to be energy efficient that it locks in mold and it's like a perfect place for mold to grow. So the more you can open your windows, the better it is. I'm not even kidding. Since I heard this episode last week, I have had our windows open every single day for at least a few hours. If it gets really hot, I'll close them. But Yeah, I leave those suckers open all the time now. I'm like, no mold in here. We live in an apartment. I am sure there is mold in this apartment, and I'm going to do everything I can to prevent this. So, anyways, open up your windows and lay on your back with your legs in the air because I think it's just going to help reset a little bit. And not that you have to be thinking about mold like I do. I just think about mold the whole time. But, anyways, fresh air is so good for you. Like, whether it's to get rid of mold, whether it's to boost your mood, whether it's just to maybe get a little bit of something moving on in the stagnant air of the building you're in right now, whether it's like maybe you have an office and you have a little window you could open, like do that, you know? Also, kind of my last little thing that I want to mention here is I think it's really, really important to focus on what feels slumpy. Is that a real word? I don't know if that's a real word. Whoa. But what feels slumpy? And this has been something I've been really focusing on because it's not that I'm bored with my life. Like I said, there's a lot going on. Like there's so much happening. So why was I in a slump? Why did I feel down? And I really did notice it was social media usage. I was feeling very slumpy there. It was my food intake. I was feeling very slumpy there. And it was my morning routine. I was feeling very much so like I didn't have a handle on it anymore because I didn't have the energy to put into it. So maybe that was sleep, whatever. And I started to really dissect what it was about my day, what it was about what I was doing that put me in a slump. Because that's not where you should be. You shouldn't be resting in a constant rut, you know. Rather, it's something that you go into, but there are ways out. You don't just have to sit in that slump. You can, you know, take steps forward. I don't know. So anyways, once I started dissecting what was happening, what it was in my routines that were really just like draining me, I was able to start making changes to those things and building my energy back up, really starting to embrace the inspiration of every day, romanticizing the fun stuff and even the stuff that I didn't want to do. You know what I mean? And so a couple of things, like I love going through my email in the morning. Love it so much because I feel like just like an accomplished woman. I don't know. But after that, I would always jump on social media and I was just feeling like bleh. So what I started doing is now that's my treadmill time and I will be on the treadmill for 30 minutes. So it's check your email, answer anything that needs to be answered. But then after that, I can stay on social media if I want, but commenting and engaging on social media while on the treadmill is just not as much fun. So usually I just don't engage and I'm just off of it. I'm done with social media because being on the treadmill trying to be on social media is not fun to me. And so I just started making adjustments. And now I know the days that I'm on social media early in the morning, I'm in a slump for the rest of the day, usually. And I know that if I'm reading a book that I don't like, usually in a slump. So I switch to audiobooks for self-help books and walk around, do my walks with that, with Tank. And then I read fun fantasy books when I want to, you know, on my evenings to unwind. So you just find what feels bleh. What in your life is feeling, ugh, no thank you. And make adjustments to it. Really edit your life, cultivate it, you know, go through and figure out what's working, what's not working, and slowly change those things up, you know. And there are different levels of slumps. Like I said, some of us were in a slump all winter long. Some of us have been in a slump for like 2 years, to be honest with you. And some of us are just like right now it's 3 p.m. and we're feeling a little drained from the day and we're in our like mid-afternoon slump. So there's levels and there's answers to all those things, but really it's okay. It's okay. And I hope those things kind of get you out of this rut you're feeling. And we're just going to keep moving forward and we're going to start seeking the inspiration in every single day and romanticizing our lives. You get one life, bro. One life. One shot at this whole thing. And you don't want to spend the whole time feeling about it. So what can you do today to take a step forward and to make it a little bit better, to get out of the rut you're feeling and just embrace living again? Have fun with whatever you're doing. I don't know what that's going to look like for you, but I'm freaking stoked about the whole thing. I feel like I've been talking like a surfer more. I've been wearing like off-shoulder sweaters and I'm like, ooh, I'm ready for like a summer at the beach, even though I live in Fort Worth, Texas. But yeah, so anyways, you got this, dude. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Thanks for listening in. And if you have any issues at all, if you feel like you're in a rut, a slump, whatever you want to call it, don't forget you can always DM me at my Instagram at Belle, or go comment on Lemonade. Hey, if you're on Lemonade, literally go follow me, because let's connect on there, because it's going to be super fun. Let me know you're coming from listening to from the podcast, and your girl will follow you back, and we'll be little inspiration buddies on there, okay? Bye, guys.